And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the third hour of Masks. So, you guys are now have stopped your conversation. You finished your conversation with the cowl. You provoked him successfully to help you and not be a git. So good for you. And yeah, he gave you a direction. He gave you a name, and he gave you a warning. I actually think to pull back on that one for a moment. I don't think he'll give you a warning about Wisecrack. He not only give you a warning about Wisecrack, he will be straight up like, if you come across him, don't fucking like do anything, just avoid him. Like take this thing, take this warning thing, and click it if you come across him, and then get out of there. Right, like that. That's what he would. That's what he definitely what he does.
Okay.
So you have like a little fucking, like these little like fucking tiny flashlights they hang on keychains, like that kind of thing. Just like you can just click it, and a little diode will start beeping and will give you like basically a warning signal, like, yeah, we found him, he's here. Because right, we established that like the cowl doesn't know where he is. He's trying to track him down, but he knows where your friend might be.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what that is. Because he would not simply warn you to be like careful if you met Wisecrack. He'd be like, no, don't. Right, like people die.
People get killed from this, but yes, let's actually.
Yeah.
Why don't we? Well, I don't know about the others, but
So we rejoin you on a now cowl empty rooftop.
Dun, dun, dun.
a decowled.
Yes,
rooftop.
a decowled rooftop. And the question from me, at least, is to you guys is like, what's the conversation? What do you decide to do, and where do you want to cut forward to?
Well, if I look to Nightshade, he's the guy in charge here.
Meanwhile, in the background, the floodlights have like been disabled.
Yeah, Nightshade, after we kind of reconvene afterwards, like, well, I guess Verisign's where we're going. That's most likely where Daniel's at.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to be careful then. I mean, aside from the maniac, we also have the guy who's probably a little too clear-minded, and his security systems.
So if we can find, what was his name?
Meatball.
Oh yeah, no, the Riley Newman.
Right, yeah. If we can find Riley Newman, then we'll probably find Daniel.
Yes. So that's what we should do, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I guess we'll have to stake out Verisign. See if we can locate Riley Newman.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there follow him in.
I'm just gonna ask you here, august and wise and all-knowing editor-in-chief.
Yes.
Riley Newman doesn't happen to be a name that rings any bells for me, does it? He was ex-military and a really bad egg.
You know what? You're probably like aware of a Riley Newman.
Yeah. As in, I'm aware that he has been, that he was at some point at. Do I have some vague flashes of having seen this creep? Him standing over when I have one of these moments where I woke up with tubes sticking out of places that tubes should never go, that kind of thing.
Of course you do. That's totally what you. Of course you have like a. Of course you have a moment where you're like, people are saying Riley Newman, and like conversing and using his name in conversation, and there is the moment of like Diamond looking like as if she's thinking, like brow furrowed, and then like a couple of these like overexposed like white flashbacks of like a lab coat and a name tag that says Riley Newman. Like, you can't see, because of the overexposed nature of the shot, you cannot see a head, you can't see any features, you can just see like a series of lab coats through a glass tank. And yeah, that like definitely you see like that name tag.
maybe a vague memory of a handlebar mustache because we were told that that was there.
Yeah.
But yes, I look at the others. I say, just so you guys know, I don't. If we come across this guy, he's gonna know who I am.
I'm guessing from your time in the military.
He's one of the guys who built me.
That's curious. I'm gonna stop you right there. Is that how Diamond thinks about it? Like that wording?
Yeah.
Did he build you or did he destroy you?
No, I think she thinks about it as being built.
Cool. Thank you. I was curious about that.
And everyone is stunned in silence.
Mm-hmm.
I knew when the museum thing happened, I knew that Graves had to be behind that. He's the only one who could have contacted Colonel Van Halen. And Newman is ex-military. We just got told he's ex-military. Hell yes, he's ex-military. He was right there outside the tank when I'm full of cloudy water. Yeah. He was right there. Anyway, let's go find Daniel, shall we? It's more important right now.
Let's go then.
Yeah.
Right? What's the plan?
I guess just
we can't do
stake out.
Yeah, we can't do a
can't
frontal
really-
assault. That would be. I mean, I'm pretty sure I would always be able to actually get in. Without violence, all I'd have to do is walk up to the front door and say I want to talk to him. I'm pretty sure he'd let me in, and then I would quite probably be taken away to somewhere else. But that's not what we're trying to do. I could buy you some time, but that's about it. What do we do?
Can I try to assess the situation?
What would you want to assess?
The smartest way of getting closer to our goal.
So that is not explicitly what that is for. That is more on you guys to decide, like as players. But you can look to the present situation with assessment is more about like the here and now and where you are. But you can definitely. I don't want to say no because it feels like you should be able to lean on this a bit. So why don't we talk about it? I feel like this is not completely out of the spectrum of what you could do with this move. What is it that you would like to tell me a little bit about what Starlight is thinking?
Well, actually, I just forgot what the fuck we were trying to do.
We're trying to get into Verisign to get we're trying to get in because we need to get to Riley Newman, and we need to, and he's almost certainly there. And when we get to Riley Newman, that's where we will find Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the idea. That's why we need to get in.
So we're trying to find Daniel.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I just got rid of this. I'm not gonna do it again. Well, then I don't know what to do. It just seemed like a thing you should be able to do to assess the situation. Well, what would be the smartest way to get in?
So
But
that's definitely the case, but the thing is, it's the case for observing your current situation, not for thinking about it. If that makes sense. So if you
yeah,
were like
I'm reading
looking
it
at the
now.
building, if you were looking at the building and being like, how do we get in? Right? If you were shadow running around it and being like, how do we approach this? That is the perfect moment for it. But like sitting at home and like thinking about it isn't the right venue for using that. It's more about like being aware of the keen details of a situation surrounding you,
Yes.
which is a great way of avoiding a bunch of trouble. You just
So
have to
we-
go there.
Yeah, I was about to say, so we need to go there, get a grip on what the building looks like, and then try to assess it from there.
Makes sense.
That's her idea then.
Right, so like Starlight suggests that you should go to the building and then you could think further on it.
It's hard to, guess about what it looks like when we're not actually there.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, let's go have a look.
Let us indeed go and take a look.
Sweet. So cut forward to you guys having done a Google search on the address of that thing, and then moving forth.
Okay, so before everybody, I would have like at the moment, like everybody, does their superhero takeoff to just go to the building.
Yeah.
We see Finn like stand there for a second, for a second longer, not starting off with everybody else. We in the comic book we have like a zoom on his face, which is like just ever so slightly paler, and we see like a single bead of sweat going down his face, like he's concerned about something. We see him looking down on his hand, looking at his phone, and then we cut in. If we can, we cut into flashback.
Interesting. Set me a flashback.
Into flashback of like basically the same position of the phone, but we clearly see him when he was still leaving the arcade to change basically. To change, like clutching his belly, other hand of his belly, and we see him dialing, basically pulling up a business card with the Graves. Graves in whatever, Deacon Graves.
Yeah, totally.
And we basically see him. We don't see like an entire conversation. We just see him like actually calling, and maybe we cut into the we see the shock of his shot of his back with like actually like you can imagine that he's talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Talking to somebody, and then we cut back into the current situation with him kind of like his hand is slightly shaking with his phone in. He shakes his head. He shakes his head, hides the phone, and then he just starts off with the rest, like following after his team.
All right. Cool. So, where do you think the VeriSign building would be in Halcyon?
From the outskirts.
Actually, isn't there like an industrial park somewhere? That would be.
There
That would
totally
make
is.
sense.
I personally like imagine VeriSign being more on the end of like a space building than like an industrial building. Like less brickwork and more like shaped, like
Yeah, but industrial complex would still be. I mean, look it up.
Yeah, I think-
Look it up. What Novo's headquarter looks like here in Copenhagen. It's a
good
mile and a
point.
half from where we live. So
That's a good point. So definitely, yeah. So in like, it's probably like on, basically like near the area you're in, right? It's like somewhere between where it changes from Gotham City to like, I don't know, Edge City or something, like in that space, where it's still like kinda overcast, but everything is also like looking way better and less dilapidated. And in that area, we find you like looking at this modern architecture thing made entirely of like right angle stonework. Bunch of bunch of like whitewashed like semi gray stone. A bunch of reflective panoramic windows, and then like definitely like a plaza, and not this, like basically imagine the building you were in, like the Mountain Work Chemicals building, but like that kind of high rise building, but built as like, instead of being a building, it's like a complex, like that sort of area. So when you look down into it, it has this like basically like a walled enclosure that, despite being walled, also managed to look sufficiently inviting that it almost like looks like it's a building built for like it looks like it's supposed to be there like for recreational purposes almost, even though it's absolutely not. And as you take a moment to look at it, it's like, nah, there's like, this is definitely like an industrial complex. So it's just like this series of buildings connected by an internal road system, surrounded by an outer wall and a little plaza. And all around you, of course, like in all directions, are other industries, some like a few residential buildings here and there. Traffic here is like large like hauling vehicles, and like in few cases like tiny personal vehicles. But yeah, we find you just here, just like walking in the crowd of people, being invisible in plain sight. What do you do?
What time of day is this?
Assess the situation.
it's still Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but what time of day?
Afternoon. Mid-afternoon to late afternoon.
I'll probably turn to everybody else, like probably if you want to sneak in the like night would be a better suit for sneaking in.
I'm sorry, I only caught about half of that. It felt like it was very choppy.
Oh, sorry. He just said that maybe it would be better to wait until the nightfall and sneak in.
Probably a good idea. Definitely.
Less innocent people here as well.
That too, yeah. I think. No, I don't think. I know for a change that Diamond is definitely hanging back. She doesn't want to be up front here. She doesn't want to be seen by anyone who's near that building. She's definitely not placing herself front and center here. But she does at one point look towards White Sparrow and say, do you have a moment?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. She basically gestures her over, so they have a slight amount of privacy.
Of course, away from the boys and Starlight.
Exactly. Well, Starlight, I'm not so worried about, but because she doesn't know any better. But just the two of them for the time being. And she says, "You seem like you've been." Well, ever since we visited your place, you've seemed really, I don't know, different almost. Down? Is that a thing? And now today you very nearly tumbled off the roof. Are you all right? Seriously, I mean, is there anything I can do?
No, she waves a hand dismissively. It's just we visited Mark, and
Yeah.
I tried doing something I've never done before, and I had to get into his mind, and it was just so slowed down by all the meds. It was really, really tough. And then today, or yesterday, I had to hold my own against Starlight's barrage. I am exhausted.
I don't blame you at all. I just wanted to make sure that you're all right because, as I said, you've seemed a little bit beside yourself.
I'm just tired. I'm sure.
Okay.
I just
No, I'm not gonna push or be an ass about it. Don't worry. I just want to, okay. I'll leave it at saying I hope you realize that if you need someone, probably the worst person to talk to in the world, really. But if you need someone to talk to, then yeah, I'll be very happy to listen.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate the offer. And I think if Diamond then returns, there should be a single panel of Sparrow just looking incredibly guilty for just, going back to lying all the time.
Do you feel super duper guilty about this?
Yeah.
Do you feel guilty enough that you want to inflict a? Do you want to take the condition?
Can you just do that?
I don't know. Can you? I don't.
I mean, mechanically, can you just say I want that condition?
I don't know. I guess I'll try and find out. Let's say you can't, but let's just say you feel really guilty about this, and maybe you line yourself up for taking guilty if something goes wrong.
That makes perfect sense. Sparrow takes a few deep breaths and puts on her give face again. And then she returns to the others.
Alright. Sweet.
Okay, let's sneak in or whatever.
I'm gonna assess the situation. I did
Yeah, so
offer to do that.
you basically like scope out the joint. Roll plus superior to check it out.
I will assist.
Good thing.
Yes, I shall most definitely assist.
Sweet. So we dock the steam point.
Question is, does Starlight want your assist?
Wants that potential.
I'm not sure Steinhardt gets a choice.
Let's see.
Boo.
But we could totally play that out if you want.
Well, basically, I figured she would be assessing the situation while you two were talking.
Don't worry about it. We are very abstract with time here. It aligns if they want to.
Alright. Well, she is trying to not be as dismissive of the poor girl as she has been since she realized, oh my fucking god, I had Schadenfreude when she fell. So she'll let her help her.
Alright.
In that case, I think Sparrow shall provide information from above.
Alright, cool. So yeah, we see the two of you who have like flyer capacity scope out the building from various angles. And you can ask me a question. So take your pick.
Alright.
I say scope out the building. I mean buildings. The complex.
Alright, I'm looking at them and I can't see how the hell do I get in without being seen? Question.
What here can I use to get in without being seen?
Yeah, that seems okay.
So, what here can you use to get in without being seen? There is a series of like industrial pipes leaning like throughout the complex. Some of them seeming to disappear out into the cityscape. Probably leaning to like either like another building somewhere, or maybe into like a dump or something, or maybe like just draining into a river. But that's an option. There is also, aside from that way of entry, there is the option of going in from a roof, provided that, provided you can get to it unseen. Because there's like a couple of buildings that have helicopter platforms on them that you could potentially use to... that by extension also would have rooftop access. And lastly, trucks come and go to this place.
Ooh, let's hide on the trucks. She smiles very widely as she says so.
The trucks?
Yes.
Well, can you get us in like you did with Finn?
She nods eagerly. She's no longer insecure, so she doesn't know any better.
That might work. Yeah.
The thing is, I could probably get us into the room and the building the same way, but I don't know if we actually show up in the faces of someone. In the back of a truck, there wouldn't be anyone.
Sounds like a plan.
You could totally turn into a small animal and hide under so you could tell us when we can get out without being seen.
Yeah. I mean, if I turn into a bug, I could probably also hide on top of it without being seen, but that might be a good
I forgot
idea.
how small you could get.
She winks. Okay, so that's the plan then. You guys get inside, I hide on the underside or something, and then we get in.
Yes.
All right. So, put your plan in motion for me. Paint me a picture of your infiltration.
So we lie in wait. And Starlight gets ready to move everyone into a truck.
All right. So
Except Sparrow, who's supposed to be a small bug, so she can tell us when it's, free to get out.
okay.
Yeah, and we see Sparrow take a deep breath before she transforms into something small and bug-like.
Oh, I also just totally realized something. Nightshade, mark a condition.
Okie dokie.
Your choice. Because you didn't save your friend last scene.
Yep.
And then she will find somewhere under the car that's not too hot to sit on and sit there.
We're gonna mark guilty.
Wait.
Oh shit! Sorry, don't mark a condition at all. My bad. I read that as where you don't achieve your goal. It's where you don't make progress towards that goal. You totally made progress last scene.
Gotcha.
All right. So, Starlight, power up. Let's see if you can move the group.
First, I need to power up at least.
Yep.
Let's see if I can burn.
So yeah, I imagine you
I can have burn.
I imagine you peering out from like an alleyway or something, trying to basically douse the light of you powering up and trying to be the team is being see if you can keep it down. Think dim thoughts.
Something like that. She powers up. The thing is, when she powers up, it's a lot of light, but once she is powered up, she can more or less keep the strands of light to herself.
Yeah, you can internalize it. It probably makes the weird patterns on your body glow a bit more intensely, but not as brightly.
But there's not the long strands of light extruding from her body.
Yeah, I imagine that. That sounds cool. All right, so yeah, you power up successfully. You summon forth the cosmic energies, and
and now I have to move all of us, and I haven't done that before.
All right. So
I have the move where I can move myself.
Don't explode all our brains.
And slip past any barriers or restraints in my way, but now I have to do that with all of us. Let's see if we can do this.
Let's find out. So let's see, Nova.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Move. Spend 1 burn to move to any place you choose within the scene, breaking through or slipping past any barriers or restraint your way. Spend a 2nd burn to move any place you've previously been. Okay.
I don't. It was +0 in case that's important, AJ.
Yeah, she's still hopeless.
So that.
So she gets
cancels out her
-2 to unleashing her powers.
That's so weird.
Basically, she shouldn't actually use anything but her burn, but because she's bringing people with her.
All right. That's cool. So, let's see. You fail this test. Okay. So, okay. So you call upon your powers to get in there. Oh God.
So unleash your powers.
When you fail.
Doesn't say when you fail, does it?
No, it's one of the things that is placed on me, and I have a bunch of ideas. I just need to decide on one, and I'm very sorry that I'm taking my time doing that.
No, that's fine.
Can I come with a
Oh yeah.
suggestion?
Yeah, totally.
Basically, she realizes that there isn't room enough for all of them in there because it's full. So when she turns into everything, she makes sure that the others aren't caught in anything. But she's poking out of something, so she's stuck.
That's an idea. I think. I mean, so I guess this actually comes to the point. No, I think I know what this is. So you've never tried moving everyone before.
Nope.
And you like outright failing this, I think takes the shape of you trying and not succeeding to move everyone. So you're like looking at a truck as it's moving in, and you conjure up your power, and you're like trying to extend your senses and being like, okay, I got everyone here, and forward, and you feel this like this swell of energy and the displacement, and you come into being in the complete darkness of the inside of a truck, and you're there alone. So like it's just like you give us off this like pale light, right? Like you shine like as if you know, like it's like a cheap dollar store lamp because you're trying to keep it muted. But
So
yeah.
basically what she does is she comes into being again inside the truck and goes, woohoo, we did it. Fuck.
Yep, exactly. So the rest of you are like prepping for like whatever this is gonna feel like, and then Starlight just like pops in there. The Starlight vanishes.
Well,
What do you do?
She puts on her
Ooh, potential.
Diamond puts on her best Stan Laurel voice and puts her arms akimbo, looks around at everyone else and says, "Well, there's another fine mess you've gotten us into."
The goes a little time before there's a message for the others with a oops.
yeah, so Nightshade looks at everyone who's left here and just like, well, I guess we're going in the old-fashioned way. And he kind of like stealthily follows after this truck.
I thought you said the old-fashioned way. Diamond says and cracks her knuckles.
With our legs?
No, busting my way through the front door. That's the old-fashioned way for me.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of breaking things. Let's just get in there first.
All right. You're no fun. You're no fun.
All right. So why don't you tell me how you get in there unseen? And I will make you. I will have you make me an appropriate roll.
Actually, I think I would like to assess the situation. Don't know about the others, but I didn't hear about any of the alternative ways in. The only one we heard about was the trucks.
I took it to be a case of like everyone just like talking it out.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, that won't be necessary. But I thought that the two of them can't. No, they were hovering. I don't know how far above the ground.
Yeah.
Sparrow was, but she would eventually have to get back down to Starlight to talk to her because Starlight can't fly without being a light show.
True.
Remember,
okay,
like
sure.
yeah. We accept an inherent level of abstraction.
Yeah.
This.
Sure,
like,
sure.
Stuff happens
No
between
worries.
panels.
No worries. So yeah, all right then. In that case, she makes a face and points towards those industrial pipes and says, "I'm going in that way." Crike, I'm going to be stinking up a storm.
Yeah, and I think Nightshade runs after the truck, but does so like moving from object to object or pool of shadow to pool of shadow to try and keep himself hidden. And then as he gets closer to the truck, like slide underneath it and just hold on to the bottom.
All right. So you're trying to leverage your great athleticism as a Janus here to like go full super spy on this. All right, roll to unleash your powers, and use them to overcome the obstacle. The obstacle in this case is getting in unnoticed, while holding on to the bottom of this thing.
Woohoo!
Sweet. All right. Do you want to mark a condition, or should I tell you how this is unstable or temporary?
I think Nightshade is starting to feel pretty guilty because it's taking so long to get in here and help Daniel. So I will mark it guilty.
All right. Cool. So yeah, you clamber onto the underside of the truck, and it just like carts off like into the compound, and we'll cut to the two of you joining up outside of that truck in a moment. Meanwhile, however, the others, how do you get in? We hear that we see Diamond heading towards the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Sparrow is, of course, in Dragonfly form, sitting underneath the truck, ready to tap loudly on it when it's time to get out.
Sweet. Unleash your powers. Let's see if you can manage the same.
I don't wanna. I'm sorry.
You have to call up.
I actually had a hit.
There it is. All right. So, do you want to take a condition, or shall I tell you how this is temporary or unstable?
It makes sense to do the guilty thing now then.
Yeah. Okay. Totally. So yeah, you feel super guilty about the situation.
Woo! Team guilt.
Now I'm alone with my thoughts.
But
Now I have
we had like fucking Nightshade clambering onto the underside of a truck and like feeling super guilty and making guilty faces and guilty grunting noises and just being like, oh god, and sighing heavily, and perched on his nose is a dragonfly with making a comedically guilty face and sighing heavily. And just guilt buddies. All right. How about Vigil and I guess let's take Diamond, because we know what Diamond's gonna do. Diamond's gonna go through the pipe. So Diamond, tell me about you going through this like giant like set of industrial tubes poking out of the facility.
Yes, well, it's a matter of going down underneath the as I understand, it goes down into what, a river or something.
I don't know. Like if you follow them, it heads somewhere.
Yeah. So well, I go to a place where I can gain entry into the piping, and if that requires me making a hole in the piping, then so fucking be it. I will listen to the pipes first to make sure that the one I gain entry to is full of, I don't know, maybe that there's water or whatever running at the bottom of it, but if it's a constant torrent, then I'm not gonna
Sure. Let's find out about that. So you like, I think the way we see you enter it is like basically like you jump on top of it or like crawl on top of it. Like they like run above street level at some points where they're just like almost like giant like monorails like running out of the complex, and you just like find a place where there's like a security hatch, which of course you're supposed to like have a key for or something, or have some tools that you can use to reach it open.
I have
a
key. I have a key. It's
Yeah.
called
I was
full
supposed to say
strength.
it does.
So you try to like basically like brute force your way in through like this not intended to be an access way. Unleash your powers. Let's see if that goes fine.
Oh yay! This is gonna.
Are you also weak in the freak?
I am very weak in the freak these days.
Need some more freak up in here.
Yeah, I also suck at the freak.
Hey, that's potential for me.
We get the freak is the less known the less known single of Freak Kitchen's latest album instead of Freak of the Week.
Actually, I would say weak in the freak is the spiritual successor to Insane in the Membrane.
Interesting. Okay, so the way we see this is like you totally succeed at like you rip open the hatch and you listen to the pipe and you're like, no, it doesn't sound like anything's coming out from here. You can't hear anything. You like put your ear to the other pipe, can't hear anything here either. It's probably fine. You rip open the hatch. It's just like a dark tube, and there's a gangway there. You can like jump down into it and start walking along it into the building. And then like as time like as you like start walking through the darkness, we remain like in focus on like a little like yellow and black security sticker on the outside. This just like has a little skull on it and like warning, warning.
Toxic contents.
No, it's more like I was thinking like a heat warning. Like, it's like an incinerator, like an incineration pipe. So it like has these like burps of gas that travel through it, that like lit on fire. So at some point you start hearing like a sound coming down the pipe.
Oh crap!
You're like, don't really know what that is. And then there's like this push of air, and then suddenly like the blackness ahead of you starts glowing orange, and then this like surge of fire just comes traveling towards you. What do you do?
Yeah. I suddenly have a very, very desperate and driving urge to not be inside this pipe anymore, but outside it.
All right.
So, tear another hole to get outside and then, move 3 or 4 steps up along the pipe on the outside, so that I'm basically letting I'm waiting until the venting is done.
All right. So you try to tear your way out of the pipe.
Yes.
Okay. So make a roll.
Unleash again.
Yes.
Yay!
Oh dear.
Another potential.
So you definitely successfully do it. You tear your way out of the pipe. It's just that you're like, you see it coming, and there's that moment of hesitation where you're like, this isn't real. Fuck me, it's real. And you just like kind of lean out the side of the pipe and punch. And as you do so, the metal gives way, and like there's this screech of metal as you tear your way through. But the fire just comes traveling towards you, and it ends up just like rocketing you out the side of it, right? You get like caught in like this like gout of flame as you get pushed through the pipe. And you take a powerful blow as you basically like get you essentially like cause a breach in the pipe, but you also get exploded into the facility that you're trying.
At least I get in.
Yeah, right. So it's like you make progress, but you do take a kick in the ass doing it. Like you basically explode.
Powerful blow, you said.
Yeah. Hey, nice. You stand strong.
I do.
So-
Basically, what I imagine happening is that this thing suddenly pushes me, and her reaction is to go, "Oh shit, there's a wall coming up," and then basically she just, she puts her hands up in front of her face, curls up on herself, and goes cannonball through the wall.
Did I just hear her get 3 potential in a row?
Yep. And then she just lands in a the perfect Iron Man 3-point pose.
Totally like rolling backwards and then just like picking yourself up, just like I did that.
And when she looks up from that and just kick or flicks her hair back and gets some of the dust and so on out of her face, the only thing that's like her eye comes to light, and she starts to sneer. And again, I can't take angry, although 3 failures there in a row. She's definitely right there on the edge, right on the edge.
This could have gone better.
This could have gone a whole lot better. And when she, right now she's in a really foul mood, very close to angry.
Trap.
And her thought, what she sneers as she looks up, and the little red light on her eye comes up is, "All right, Newman, I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna make you hurt."
Maybe like in the back of your head, like a tiny bit of resentment for your sweet love, who just like popped out of you, like out on you guys. Just
Well,
like, this could have gone better.
I'm gonna have a serious conversation with Starlight at a later date.
All right. So yeah,
I didn't mean to.
we see you like basically like you, as you described, right? You,
That's
like,
why-
get
that's why
shot
I'm
across
saying-
the facility.
That's why I'm saying we're gonna have a conversation about this at a later date. You're paying.
Aww.
So yeah, you're basically like, as you dust yourself off, you're inside like, I don't know, like an outside, like you're inside a bike shed. Something like that.
That's fine.
You got out.
I did.
All right, and then I guess last but certainly not least, Vigil, dude, how do you get in?
Finn probably would look around, find like a less trapped part of the fence.
Right, so you just like leap the wall.
It just basically cut a human-sized hole in it, and then just using general speed and agility, like his speed and agility, just jump box to box, container to container,
All right,
and
cool.
then just slip in.
Unleash your powers, dude. Let's see what's up.
Going well.
Oh, jeez.
We're getting a lot of potential right now, guys.
Yeah,
I need one more and I'll get an advancement.
all
Yeah,
right.
me too.
So
Same.
you like move into the facility, and you like make a hole where you're supposed to go through, and make your way through the facility slowly but surely, jumping from the right spot to the right spot. And then there's a moment of you like landing on a container or something, being like, okay, no one's seen me. And then you look left and everything is clear, and you look right and 3 people are like looking up on you with like just open-mouthedly with their lunches in their hand, going like, whoa. And there is like a moment of hesitation where none of them have the presence of mind to like hit an alarm. What do you do?
Oh
my god.
I'm just going to knock them out. Just
You just jump on them.
basically just like do a like a Dragon Ball Z thing, and just disappear from a corner, appear in the middle of them, and just basically do like a round kick to just knock them all out.
All right, roll to engage.
Innocent civilians.
The question
Yeah.
here is
I'm knocking them out, not
Yeah.
killing them.
roll to engage. The question here is basically if you can like. There's no problem actually knocking them down. The question is like if you can.
If I can do it
without
fast
trouble.
enough.
I'm gonna have to say this while he rolls. While he may not be killing them, we're not killing the bad guys either. He's still inflicting violence on innocent bystanders.
You know
Does that make him a tweener?
Maybe don't make the roll yet. Don't make the roll to engage. Because these aren't actually these don't count as
I
opponents.
think that's
Make it-
unleash the powers to
yeah.
just make it fast enough.
Unleash your powers. The obstacle you're trying to overcome is them raising the alarm.
Jesus.
All right.
This is going marvelously.
So like one of them is like reaching for like a walkie-talkie. One of them is like running to push a button on like a comms panel somewhere, and you just appear in like between all of them and just like knock them out in like short sequence. The problem here being that you maybe overdo it, and like some of them go too much down, right? Like you knock them down hard, and you're like. You have to take a moment to just be like sure that you didn't kill anyone, And
Yep.
you didn't kill anyone, but they have been like legit KO'd, which is of course not healthy for anyone, and several of them have broken bones from just like being tossed through the air like ragdolls as you like knock them down.
So I would probably even take the time to just not hide them, but like move them to the side to like a shady corner.
Yeah, you like solid
so,
snake them like behind a container.
Yeah.
But
Put them in a
that's
box.
Evil.
so you do this, and like you can't help but like in that moment where you're like, shit, right? Like this is not what you're about. You're about helping people. These people are not involved. They just work here. And there is a moment where you like feel kind of shitty about losing control. Mark guilty.
I already have guilty.
Mark insecure.
Already have it. To be fair,
Mark angry. He's pissed off at himself.
Mark angry at yourself.
question: can I unmark angry because I hurt somebody, and mark it again?
No, that's not how it flies.
Okay, I have angry already.
Okay, look, I'm gonna figure this out.
I have hopeless or afraid. I can mark afraid because I'm afraid that I allegedly hurt them.
That could actually
I
work.
don't know.
You're afraid that you permanently hurt them.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Like you're afraid, but in the sense that you're maybe what you're afraid of is like you're afraid of losing control.
So can I clear angry
Poor
because I
man.
hurt somebody?
Yes, I'll allow that.
Poor people. Normies break so fast. How dare they?
All right. So, after this shenaniganry, we cut to all of you joining up in various stages of, well, like looking.
Miserable failure.
Yeah, basically. Like all of you like joined up. You're out of you're out of the way. You're hidden. You're like in a nook somewhere in like the complex grounds. Fucking Diamond like like looking singed. Like there's like a little ember on her or like on the strand of her hair.
I like just sniff towards Diamond and like, you smell like a burnt hot dog.
Hey.
Like a burnt pizza.
Hey!
Just to set it up for later, he would probably like from the workers. He would probably nick their ID and one of the hard hats.
All right. Yep. So
ID might come in useful later.
yeah, totally. However, the and here's the thing. So because that was a failure, you have an ID card. Like you have basically like
It's like a really low level one.
you had like no. Like it's not like a swipe card, right? You can't like it's just like a little like badge that you can use to be like identify yourself. The thing is, if anyone takes a close look at that, they will notice that you don't have a full beard.
Lol.
Or boobs.
I think that
What?
Oh,
Sorry,
God.
Aya,
It's
you were
fine.
saying.
Go on.
I'm sorry, Aya. I think I broke over you.
no, I think that was Rasmus this time.
Go on. What did you say, AJ?
I think poor Starlight shows up wriggling and squirming because oops.
Yep. You like you
And
smell.
then and
smell
then
of
and
the
then
torrent.
goes and then she, kinda, wriggles with it. Sorry guys.
Finn shows up in a hard hat.
I think at this point, the one thing that what's her face? Diamond says when she catches up with the others at long bloody last, she just looks at one of the others and says, "We are never talking about this again, ever."
Well put.
God,
Exactly.
Finn, you must. I mean, let's take a moment here to acknowledge what Finn looks like in the scene, because this happens. This totally happens. There's like a panel of all of you guys standing there talking and looking in various stages of however you got in here, and Finn is just looking so out of place. It's not like so like workers in here like just wearing slacks and a shirt, right, and then like a hard hat, and Finn is standing there in like a t-shirt that says "fuck the planet" and torn jeans and a hard hat, just like I work here.
Well, no, he literally has a superhero costume on, but with a hard hat on.
No.
No.
Yes.
Because he was sneaking in anyway. He was not trying to pretend to be anybody. He just nicked those IDs because like he thought they might use them for like keys or something.
Yeah, so like full like he starts standing there in his superhero attire with a hard hand and a name badge on.
Starlight will then look at him, but talk to Diamond with a. So why are you singed? What happened?
We are not talking about this. We are really not talking about this.
I love that you're looking at Vigil while like you can't help but look at like your eyes are just drawn to it while you're having a conversation with someone else.
Exactly. It's just like that is so weird that I'm staring at it because what the fuck? But I didn't notice that you were kind of in a disarray. Are you all right, Diamond?
You and I will have a conversation about this over hot dogs later, my dear.
You sure you wouldn't prefer pizza?
Hot dogs.
But excuse me a moment. She licks her fingers and then takes out an ember from her hair, like. Shh.
Yes. Hot dogs.
All right. So a lot of you are in the complex. Now you're outside the buildings, but you're like in a nook outside the what looks to be like the biggest and most important, of course, building. And the question then becomes, what do you do? Right? Because there is an entire ground of it's like there's security squads walking around here. There are like people just working the place. There are trucks pulling up here and there. And there you are, just 5 teens hanging out.
Right.
I might be very, very hungry, but I heard bacon building.
Yeah, you're very hungry.
You're definitely hungry.
Bacon. That might be why I heard cow instead of the cowl.
What's the next step?
That's a good question. What is the next step?
I think I will be signing out of this because it went so well last time. She starts twirling her thumbs because that was kind of embarrassing.
You could find like a map of the place, like a place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like a good idea.
Yeah,
We need to figure out where.
Somebody who has like any knowledge of computers or is able to hack wing and maybe can download like a schematics for the place.
Yeah. That sounds like a.
I cannot do it because I'm not.
You're all in a complicated situation here of neither of you being a delinquent.
Yep.
Well, there is something she could do to find out, but that would mean, making another condition.
Let's not have you go with more conditions right now, shall we?
She's down to 2. She haven't been like that since the first time
Yes.
we played this.
Let's not have you get any more conditions right now, shall we?
I mean, I could always have addition.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say.
Ooh, cool.
I think Finn was just let me just add the assist.
That's actually a pretty cool idea.
In that case, I think I shall do that. So Sparrow starts saying, well, maybe we could, and then she stops mid-sentence, her eyes turning completely white, and then as if someone dropped droplets of blood into like milk, kind of see drop in her eyes as it turns out and turns black.
That's creepy.
And she has a vision.
Very interesting. So tell me like what is it like what for Sparrow is like what's the experience of drawing on these powers?
Well, right now I don't think it's intentional. And I don't know, it says you have a vision. Should I describe it or would you describe it?
I guess I shall describe it.
Basically, the vision does so you can ask our dear
Actually,
thingy, a
answer,
question.
The answer itself I'll ask, but she's having a vision of some sort.
Oh yeah, like you get to describe the vision if you want to. I think you should. I want to hear what does a dark side vision from Sparrow look like?
Ah, that is a good question. I think to her it feels like initially there's just like a red mist in front of her eyes, and then it feels like she's falling. She kind of falls backwards down into a black abyss, where she slowly dissolves into the darkness. And then once she's entirely dissolved and can't feel herself anymore, a red blood splatter forms in front of, well, she doesn't have any front anymore, but a tiny blood splatter forms, and like more blood drips down. And since my question is going to be, where is Daniel? I think
he's sitting on the other end of the computer right now, talking to us.
Not that Daniel.
Exactly.
Where's Daniel Thornton, the mutated friend of Nightshade?
Oh.
And I think she sees that, but in a kind of jagged, disgusting, blood misty and black kind of vision.
Interesting. Okay, so the way you see that then, are you just like, is that the end of the vision, or are you looking for me to tell you what that looks like?
I'm looking for you to tell me the rest.
All right, so in that case, the way we see this is like the blood spatter thing like happens, right? Everything like stops being black and turns red, but a little bit of black keeps bleeding through. So we end up with like having a frame that is like completely like red, but has like these like dense black scrollings on it, and it's just like this like monochrome drawing of like just like black on red. And the vision you see, like as the blackness and the crimson of the blood like merges together to form this wholeness, is that you find yourself standing in a place much like the place you just were at, right? Like in an open complex somewhere. However, there's something more recognizable about it. And as you look around, you realize that you're standing in like the opening, in the opening's front space of a well-known hospital for you. And you realize that the way you have to move is forward, right? You have to go through the main entrance. And we see you walk through the door, like look left and right, and there's just this like red blood-washed hallways of like that are just empty. There are no people here. There's this like unsettling emptiness to the place. And we see you like walk down a hospital walkway, just like down a hall, until you reach a stairwell, and you just walk down the stairwell. Down you go, and down you go, and down you go, until you stand at the bottom of the stairwell. And there's nothing here except a single black feather on the floor. And as you reach down and pick the feather up, because you can't help feeling curious, you feel like maybe you would understand if you took a closer look at it. And as you hold it up, you hear a flutter of wings, and then a raven screech, and you look up, and through the top of the stairwell, diving down towards you, is the flutter of black wings, spilling feathers everywhere as it dives towards you. Suddenly you feel the floor under your feet vanish as your entire center of gravity shifts, and you start falling upward towards the bird. And as it dives directly towards you, the entire vision gets evaporated into blackness, and you rush back to reality. Feeling unsettled as fuck.
I think it feels like my soul has been sullied.
Yeah. Daniel is several floors below you in a hidden basement, locked behind many security measures and kept away from the public eye. This facility, though, like an actual legitimate facility, is built on top of an illegal research site.
I think while Sparrow is having this vision and her eyes do that, and I actually linked a picture, I think her mouth has been open in a silent scream, and when it's over, her head snaps backwards and she falls to the floor.
Starlight rushes forward to catch her and starts checking her to make sure that she's still there.
Mark your doom track.
Already did.
Cool.
Sparrow?
Ow.
And then she gets a hug.
I asked you if you were all right.
What's going on?
Could you please be honest with me? And yeah, she joins the hug as well.
I don't know what that was.
You've been looking miserable for days now. Just
So, question
Sparrow
for you,
slowly
Razorback.
blinks and regains her senses, clearly looking uncomfortable.
You definitely come back to your senses. Don't worry, I heard you, Thalmid. You can definitely chime in just a second. As you
Okay.
return fully to the world of the waking, you come to realize that there is now a part of you. When you said it feels like your soul has been tainted or something, you feel like a tangible part of you inside, on the inside of your person, has changed to the point that you are now aware of it. It's weird. It's like if you have something stuck in your throat, you're not used to, if you eat something, you're just not used to feeling it. It's just food, right? You feel full. But if something gets stuck or lodged, you're, aware of there being a thing inside you, and it feels super weird, right?
Yeah.
That feeling, but, it's somewhere inside, your chest. There is a feeling of something being there, and you realize that you could just tug on it. You would probably return to that hospital. You would probably return to the fluttering of black wings, and maybe you could see other stuff as clearly. But you just you're aware of it, and though it may scare you to touch it, you are now aware that you could probably do it. You just have to pull a thread.
Pull a thread, gain visions.
pull a thread, watch the entire tapestry come unraveled.
Yep.
I'm gonna keep a very, very disgusting idea for myself here.
Delightful. Thalmid, you were saying?
Yeah, we in last session we figured out that you physically changed from your Doom track. Is that on display now since you passed out and not actively hiding it?
That's a good question.
It is a very good question, and since Daniel seemed to make up the rules of that, I'm going to have to look at him.
Well, you can't see me because we don't have webcams. But good try.
I've seen you enough. I can imagine you perfectly from my inner eye.
Oh no, please don't. At least dress me properly. Anyway,
I imagine you in a pretty summer dress with
Oh,
cloud
just-
makeup on.
I have seen that. You do not want that.
I have done some interesting cosplay.
Yes,
Now,
yes, he has. I have seen Daniel with a 6-month beard wearing a summer dress.
It's all right,
At
Joan. I'm
least
imagining
he's
him in a
wearing
summer
a-
dress, but from the neck up.
I give up.
all right. So, yeah, your question there, of course, is if there is a physical change. I think what with the help you got from your mentor, you're only ever really compelled to have that part of you visible whenever White Sparrow considers herself to be in superhero mode. Whenever you switch to your costume, whenever you take that form that you self-identify as being White Sparrow and not Ileana North, that part of you becomes visible. It is tied to the acceptance of who you are as the superhero alter ego of who you were born to be.
In that case, I think it might actually have been visible for a while, but she's strategically been standing so you can't see her arm the entire time.
Nice.
And I figure let's take a break here, and then we'll see what you do about it. You figure that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back for the last hour. Don't go anywhere.